What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with another video, and we are talking X-Men 97. This was a TV series, which is a continuation of the X-Men series from previously that came out a long time ago. And like I mentioned in my past X-Men 97 video, it has been it's been a long time since the last time I actually saw the animated series. I'm gonna currently be in the process of doing a rewatch of the whole thing, and you know what? It is pretty darn good. Again, it's been like years since I last saw it. I don't have this super hardcore connection to it, so other than the theme being just baller, yeah, it is what it is. From what I do remember, it was the reason I became a major Wolverine fan, but that's neither here nor there. Well, because of the trailer and because Disney got involved, we did learn a whole lot of very unique things that came out. X-Men 97 is DOA with fans outraged by non-binary morph and removal of feminine assets. Now, I have gone over the non-binary not Worf, that's Star Trek. This is X-Men. But the non-binary morph scene and some of the subsequent things that people have gone back in time and started actually taking a look at the actual Bo DeMayo's tweets and comments and things like that in regards to X-Men, bringing in like, hey, they tapped me literally because I'm just a black gay man and they want to bring that to the X-Men series. But there was other things as well as the removal of Rogue's booty and her beautiful upper bits, as well, as you can see on the screen right now. Yes, they just removed them. They don't care about them, and this is more feminine things. These are what woke people like to do, introducing non-binary traits and then desexualizing women and other characters, because hey, we can have you guys actually like that stuff. Well, because of this, there's been a lot of discussion going on around X-Men and the fact that yes, these are signs that X-Men 97 is starting to look like it's about to go woke. But because people are saying woke and X-Men and all this stuff, you're having the crazy people come out and use the obvious. We'll start here with X-Men Update themselves, the #1 fan source for all news revolving Marvel and upcoming X-Men and Deadpool related films, TV shows, games, and comics. They tweeted this out. The X-Men have and always will be a symbol for inclusion and diversity. If you're a bigot and have a problem with that, you're not an X-Men fan and you don't understand the slightest thing about them. Well, we usually don't comment on people's opinions. The amount of ignorant bigotry and hate comments that have spewed from Morph being non-binary in the series, we will be blocking those that can't be respectful. No one is forcing you to follow us or watch the show. Well, they're right. Nobody's forcing us. But the reason the non-binary morph thing doesn't really make sense is because morph was also in the original series and was blatantly called he, him. So you are now retroactive because this is a continuation. This is picking up where the last series left off. You are blatantly recontextualizing an entire character just because he can change his shape and change who he is. So now he's a non-binary character. That's you guys. That's rewriting history. That's rewriting an entire character to fit your modern day standards and modern day sensibilities. So there's that. But we'll continue on with Mighty Keef over here. I can't stress how incredibly stupid you look for saying X-Men out of all things is turning woke. Themes like identity politics has always been in X-Men in either the comic, animated series, or movies. Like this, the one show anti-woke people legit can't say has hidden agenda. X-Men have shown their beliefs since day one. Ooh, I'm starting to see more and more people actually don't realize what X-Men really stood for and what the X-Men actually was. There was a bunch of misfit individuals, but we're gonna show just a few more of these because we also had this guy, the exact moment the X-Men became woke. Oh, the very first episode, the very first issue. God, that's actually a good issue and a good cover, by the way. You also have this one. To all those worried about X-Men 97 being too woke, I have a very important message for you. You're the bad guys in the trailer, not the cool ones. You're the shitey, ignorant racist in the background. This is you. Oh, it is? All this is true. X-Men's always been woke. X-Men's always been all this stuff, progressive, whatnot. Stanley's Z Words. Stanley's about to come out and debunk all this because that Park Place did a wonderful breakdown of all this because actually Eric July did a whole video using Stanley's own words to disprove everything you guys are about to say at all these points. because you scroll down here, and I know I got a lot of these actual tweets from this, but you start scrolling down here to Stanley's own words. Again, this all comes courtesy of Eric July, so shout out to Eric July. But at one point in the interview, Lee said, "Now take the X-Men as I was originally trying to get an interesting group of characters with interesting powers, and thought it would be make it twice as interesting if the public didn't really like them that much, and if they had a worry about their reception by the outside world." He continued, "Little by little, I began getting mail saying how great it is that I'm doing these stories about bigotry and the evils of bigotry and so forth, and race hatred. And I guess I was doing that, but I was doing it subconsciously. That wasn't the main purpose." He never intended it to be this. He intended it to just be misfits, outcasts, people that aren't really accepted within modern day culture, modern day industries. That was the whole premise around the X-Men. They also had just powers. They just didn't fit in. That was the point. It was never about bigotry or anything like that. They were misfits that just were able to connect with people. That's why so many people were actually able to connect with them, because it was all about, not fitting in and stuff. You continue on. And another clip from the program, Lee addresses the idea that characters are an allegory for being representatives of the LGBTQ plus community. He says, "No, it was the furthest thing from my mind. None of them were gay. None of them were ever gay. They were never meant to represent gay culture or anything like that. They were just commandeered to do that later on. They were never intended for these purposes." But hey, it gets better, because a lot of people also want to say, well, it's blatant, he made it because of all this. He made this and invented them to fight bigotry and everything like that. He designed it all behind this, when they don't fail to do the whole, like, they're just misfits. But it continues on, because the reality of why the X-Men are the way they are, the X-Men, it just comes right here from this wonderful thing that I've actually referenced in a bunch of my other videos. But here's the actual quote. Here's another interview. In this interview, he stated, "Oh, the X-Men, how I did that. Well, there's a funny a story. There's a funny a story." That's the exact quote. I'm not screwing that one up. "Everything is a funny a story. After I had done the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Spider-Man, I think the X-Men came next. The X-Men and one other, I think, Daredevil. They're about the same. Anyway, I wanted to do another group of superheroes, but I was getting tired now and figuring out how they get their superpowers. I couldn't have everybody bitten by radioactive spider or exposed to gamma ray explosion," he explained. Lee then recalled, "And I took the cowardly way out. I said to myself, why don't I just say they're mutants? They were born that way. We all know there are mutants in real life. There's a frog with 5 legs, things like that. So I won't have to think of new excuses. I'll get as many as I want, and yeah, he's a mutant, that's all." They were literally just created this way. It was never intended to be a woke allegory. It was never intended to be more progressive or anything like that. It was literally just storytelling. It was just storytelling of a bunch of misfit individuals that were born a specific way, trying to fit into the world. And a lot of people are going to say, well, that's progressive right there, that you can insert anything, race, gender, creed, sexuality, whatnot into all this. But that was never the intended purpose. Stanley himself has stated it was never meant to be this. Okay, it was never meant to be this whole overarching, like, racial dynamics, Martin Luther King versus MLK, no, MLK, so Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X. It was never meant to be, gay rights or gay activism or any of this more progressive culture or anything. It was literally just misfit individuals trying to fit into the world, all while you have another person trying to force the acceptance of us. It was not that. It was something completely different. And on the concept of it being woke, okay, let's even take your guys' argument out of it being more progressive than anything. You literally have an individual group, led by Magneto, that's trying to force their ideology onto everybody and force people to accept them and say that they are the superior class, they are the superior race of being, they are the supremacists. If anything, the woke people are the supremacists here and are the Magnetos, while everybody who are fighting against it and wanting to just be, left alone and allowed for things to, fall out where they may and allow for actual acceptance in the world. You know, the X-Men, those are the people usually fighting against the woke stuff. You know, acceptance, not supremacy. That's what we want to be having here. X-Men was never woke. X-Men was never any of this stuff. X-Men was always just a fun time where Stan Lee kind of got lazy, admitted to it, and created a bunch of misfit characters that people were always able to relate to. That's the reality of all this. That's where it's going to end and die. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it out, friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.